The fastest way for you to make more money in your business is to actually establish a solid workflow. On today's episode, I'm going to share my secret websites that I use to stretch my time to make more money. Let's hop in. Hi, I'm LaShonda, host of the Bootstrap Biz Advice Show, where I teach you how to grow your biz without breaking the bank. This is big video number 5 in a series about how to start a business in a week. In video 1, we talked about business ideas. Video 2, we talked all about visual branding. Video 3, we talked about legal. And number 4, we talked about money. And now we're talking about the workflow. So if you've not watched any of those videos, make sure that you go back so that you have the foundation that you'll need for this video to make sense. You also want to subscribe to this channel so that when these videos go live, you receive a notification so you know to come back and see me. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments. I am pretty darn responsive, so go ahead and type those below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. How to start a business in a week. Part 5, workflow. When I started About 90 Marketing, I was actually working by myself. I didn't know at the time, but there's actually a term called solopreneur that describes people all around the world who live the laptop life and work from home, doing all the stuff by themselves. So it's important that you have some sense of workflow established so that you're not reinventing the wheel every time you onboard a new client. You're not searching for what pieces you need to get the job done. So there's some websites that I use to help me leverage my time, stay organized, and continue to churn out great client experiences so that my clients referred me to their friends and I was able to get some work via word of mouth. So your workflow isn't just something that's, I want to keep myself more organized. If you want to grow a business, you need to consistently be able to provide a positive customer experience. And you're not going to be able to do that if you don't have stuff written down. Also, worst case scenario, you don't want to get in a position where you lose your memory or you get hurt or something happens and all of that information is in your head and nobody else knows where anything is or how anything works. If that was to happen to you and you don't have systems in place, then your business couldn't survive without you. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that struggle with chronic illnesses and they're able to still make money because they have a system. So please don't overlook this and just see this as, these are a bunch of websites to keep me organized. They're much more pivotal in a business than that. These will help separate you from the rest and help you to actually stay in business and not be another statistic where your business doesn't last within the first 5 years. So I'm telling you, as a person who has never worked full-time for anybody but herself, this stuff works. Organization makes money and keeps you in business. Do not overlook this stuff. So the first website I want to tell you about is Trello, and actually Trello's sister is Asana. Now, Trello and Asana help you to organize projects and keep track of all the steps that it takes for you to get a job done. Now, if you are a service-based business, this is so helpful. So you can take a process like building a website, and you can lay out every single step you've got to walk through in order to successfully build a beautiful website. If you do that, then the next time you get a web client, you can just copy that template and you can check things off as you're doing it. You won't forget to collect the important information. You won't forget to bill people. You won't forget to ask for copy. If you've got that process laid out in a template, then you can consistently provide the same positive experience. So Trello is great. That would be my first preference. And Asana has actually gone through a refresh. And so it looks very similar to Trello at this point. So either one works well. Feel free to click on the link in the description to set up a free account so that you can try these things out. I believe they both have paid options, but you can use them both for free. At the time of this video, I believe you can do that. So if that's not true, I'll be sure to make a note in the comments. Number 2 is Google Apps. Now, we all know who Google is. We all know what Google is about. But it is hands down the easiest way to keep yourself organized between Google Spreadsheets, Google Docs, Google Drive, Gmail, you will save yourself a lot of heartache. You'll save yourself a lot of time. So check out Google Apps for Business. It's not just for personal accounts. This can really help you to systemize things in your business so that you can keep yourself organized. So I love this because I use Google Spreadsheets especially to keep track of my budget. So as I pay bills, I go in and I update my spreadsheet so I can look at a glance. I can see my upcoming expenses. I can see what money I haven't collected yet, and it helps me keep track of all that stuff. So check out Google Apps for Business for yourself so that you can keep yourself organized. And again, that is absolutely free, so check it out. Number 3 is Dropbox. What I love about Dropbox is it allows me to actually be active on social media without having to carry my laptop around all the time. Especially for Instagram, I can do a photo shoot and I can save those pictures in Dropbox, and I can actually put the Dropbox mobile app on my phone so that if I have nothing else to post on Instagram, I can pull up an old picture from my Dropbox, throw it up there, and keep things active without feeling like every day has to be a photo ready day. So that's my favorite thing to do for pumping out consistent content on Instagram. So don't only have Dropbox on your computer, but have the mobile app on your phone, and that works wonderfully. I prefer it to Google Drive. So if you want to get more space on a Dropbox account, you can also refer friends to create Dropbox accounts, and they'll give you credits for that. You also get credit for putting Dropbox desktop on your computer. So get some free space by doing it that way, and that way you don't have to pay a monthly fee for more space. So that's a little hack for Dropbox. Number 4 is ConvertKit. I'll be honest, I was overwhelmed by ConvertKit when I started marketing my business About 90 Marketing. But months later, I was kicking myself in the shins for not having it. Why? Because ConvertKit is really set up for email marketing, and that is what everyone is doing online. They are building a list because they know they don't own their Facebook profiles, they don't own their Instagram accounts, and they want to have a consistent way of talking to their customers. So ConvertKit, what it does is people type in their name and email address into a form. It creates a user account for them in ConvertKit, and every time they opt into something, it keeps a record of all those things that person's interested in. So instead of a MailChimp where you have all these different lists and you could possibly have duplicates of people on multiple lists, you only have a set of accounts, and then you have data underneath each person on there. So you can see, oh wow, this person is interested in Instagram resources, or they're interested in Squarespace stuff. So you can actually be more targeted with how you email people if you use something robust like ConvertKit. So it's worth the money for you to set up that account and be organized from the beginning, collecting things like people's first names so that you can drop that into emails and appear more personal than feeling kind of trapped with the resources that MailChimp can provide. So if I was comparing the two, even stacking it up to Constant Contact, ConvertKit if you're trying to build a business online and build an email list. So if you've never tried it, check it out. That link is in the description. Number 5 is Crowdcast. Now, I found out about Crowdcast because I attended a webinar that Lauren Hooker did for Ellen Company Design, and I loved it. I mean, I thought it was a super easy interface to use to watch a webinar. And so I actually created an account, and I did a summit that way. I did other paid webinars. And what I loved about it is people can sign up with their Facebook accounts, and they don't even have to sign up for an account with Crowdcast to watch the webinar. They can ask questions in the chat box, but you can also put a call to action button in there. You can also vote up questions. So it's a really good platform for webinars. And my favorite feature is you can actually collect money for webinars in Crowdcast. So if you're trying to do a paid live class, You could use Crowdcast, and as they register, they would pay within Crowdcast, and that money goes into your bank account. And anytime someone wants to watch that replay, they can pay to watch it, like a pay-per-view. So it's easy. You can create a webinar landing page in basically 5 minutes. So if you're using webinars in your business, it's an incredible resource. You can use other stuff. I've tried using Zoom for webinars, and it was a headache. When people came in the room, their sound was on, their cameras were on. It felt really unprofessional. But using Crowdcast was professional every single time. So if you've not checked that out, go to crowdcast.io if I'm not mistaken. But if nothing else, that link will also be in the description. Number 6 is Acuity. Now, when I started to actually put my calendar online where people could book consultations with me, strategy sessions with me, I actually used the website Calendly. And I liked the way that Calendly looked, but the biggest thing was people could get on my calendar without paying, and then I would have to track them down for them to pay. The great thing about Acuity is you create your types of appointments, whether it is a discovery call or a consultation session, or you can even sell products this way, and they have to pay in order to get on your calendar. So if you have scheduling as part of what you do, whether you are a hairstylist or a therapist or a consultant, Acuity is the best way to handle scheduling. So I would encourage you to put that out there. They can also do payment plans, which I recently discovered, and I love that. So they save the card information and they charge that card as many times as you factor in for people to be on a payment plan. So if you've got people on a once a month coaching session and you want to make sure that you get paid, go through Acuity. So that link is in the description. Check that out if scheduling is a part of how you do business. Number 7 is Zoom. Zoom is my favorite way to do video conferencing with clients. I do a lot of strategy sessions with people who don't live here, and so I use Zoom to do my calls. I like it more than Skype. I can easily record my calls and upload those to YouTube after everything's over. I can also use it to record podcast interviews. It exports the audio for me when the recording is over. So I love Zoom. It's also a great way to do group coaching or potentially just a group video that you're putting up on YouTube. So if you've not tried Zoom before, that link is in the description. And every time that I do a consultation, I use the same Zoom room. So you could even have office hours where you leave Zoom up on your computer. And if anybody has a question, they can just pop in, ask you a question, and pop out. So virtual office hours are a thing, and Zoom is a great way to make that happen. So if you've not tried Zoom, check it out. The last recommendation I have for having a solid workflow in your business is be willing to outsource things that other people can do. Now, this may go back to your money. I know I keep saying CPA, 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 but man, I really depend on mine. So the money side of things, you can outsource that part of your workflow to a CPA. You could outsource your emails to an assistant. They can even be a virtual assistant. You can go to a website like Upwork and you can find somebody who's willing to make your social media graphics for you or answer your emails. So if there are things in your business that somebody else can do and you've not found a website that helps you to simplify it or automate it, consider outsourcing it. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was really heavy on the resource side of things, but that's just how I get things done in terms of workflow. It's less about a conceptual outlook on workflow and more about nuts and bolts practicality of what I'm using and how I use it. So I'll go back later and create some videos where I walk through how I set up my Trello, how I set up my Acuity appointments, different things like that. So you can see exactly how I use these websites, but I've got the links for everything in the description. Feel free to set up free accounts so you can try them out, see if they work for you. So if you enjoyed this video, again, please subscribe so that you get a notification when the other 2 videos go live in this series. If you've not watched parts 1 through 4, go and check those out. And also leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I would love to get some feedback on this video series to see, is this even useful? Do you want to learn more about starting a business, or do you want to dig in deeper about a specific part? So again, I respond to my comments, so don't be afraid, don't be shy. Feel free to talk to me in the comments and I'll be sure to respond to you. Until next time, ta-ta for now.